Once again, I am incredibly late with the video, but life, what can I say? So today's review is going to be The House of Hades by Riordan. It is the fourth book in the second series of Percy Jackson. It's called The Heroes of Olympus. Is it what it's called? Yes, it is. And this is probably going to be my first critical review, which stinks because I really love Percy Jackson's series. So watching this, I'm assuming you've read the Percy Jackson first series and like the previous 3 books. So if I spoil those books for you, I'm sorry, but yeah. I am doing The House of Hades because I am incredibly slow in this series and far behind, so sorry. I'm apologizing so much. I'll try not to spoil this book as much. Basically, the third book, which was The Mark of Athena, ended with Percy and Annabeth in the Tartarus. And you have the other people whose names I won't bother saying because I'm tired, traveling to Rome. Yeah. So, somebody may die, somebody may not. Who knows? Let's see. Reading the second series, I've always felt conflicted about my feelings about it. Because while I really love the first series, and I love being in Percy Jackson's mind, I wasn't really sure how I felt about the second one. Because I felt it lacked some of the stuff that I liked about it in the first book. And reading the fourth book, I finally realized what it was that I found wrong with it. And it was basically how there were so many characters, and they were all uniquely different, but they were also really similar, and they had the same kind of sass. I felt like in House of Hades there was a lot of focus on the romantic relationships, and while I don't mind romance in books, I felt like I would have liked more action scenes, more bizarreness, and a bit more of the Greek and Roman mythology, because those are basically my favorite parts of the entire series, is the friendship and the silliness between everybody, and the romance kind of just added a lot of angst that wasn't, I felt, really necessary in the book. Some people can disagree with me, but that's just how I felt. That being said, I still do love The House of Hades. I love the bizarreness of it, like the Titan Bob. I love Bob. I like how Riordan in his books brings back these references and stuff from side stories that you don't really think are important but actually are. If you have no idea who Bob was, you're probably going to want to read the side stories he had. I really love those. I think one of the highlights of this book is there was more Nico in it. I really love Nico. I was glad, for spoiler and whatnot, when Leo finally got over Hazel. That love triangle was just totally blah. It was like we saw it coming, and then to the point where it got really, really bad. Except Riordan averted where it kind of got cliche. So no love triangle there. Yeah. No love triangles in this book. That is a bright side. I don't think it's a bad book. There's nothing really bad and terrible. There were no parts where I was annoyed with the characters. Riordan still has that where you finish the book and you're like, I really want the second one. And maybe I didn't feel as happy as I did about the first ones, but I still want to read the next one. I think it's so cool. The storyline is really cool. I think it's Riordan, the author himself, is inexperienced with handling so many different characters, and it's hard to create different types of humor for 7 people. I think it's 7 people who've gone into their heads. To create different humor for 7 totally different people is really hard to do. So I have to appreciate that he tried, and there were definitely times where I felt that they were different, but there's too similar at times. I think one of the favorite things I do like about it is, again, the character, the friendship in the characters, how we see their interactions, Nico and Jason. I actually like their friendship, their awkward kind of friendship. And I really liked, who was it? Leo. I really love Leo and just what he brings to the group and whatnot. And I think one of my favorite things was showing how his characters aren't perfect. Leo has kind of a cruel, mean streak to him in some sense. They have their flaws and they have their strengths, which I really do enjoy. They're not flat characters at all. So he is able to create different characters and like their different individualities and their strengths and weaknesses. It was really cool to listen to like Annabeth and Percy's story, to go through, because they're in Tartarus and that's where like all their enemies from the past novels have been. So for them to like meet these monsters that they had killed, and it kind of shows that to them and to their friends they are heroes, but on the other side they're like mass murderers kind of. I mean, that's stretching it a bit, but I never realized how cruel in some sense Percy could be until I saw all of like these things come back at him. Like spoilers here, Calypso in the fourth book? No. Oh my, I can't remember which book he meets Calypso, but I realized in this book, I forgot about her too. I forgot that Percy had promised to like take her off the island, and she is still there. And I guess like you assume in the fifth book, when he makes the gods re-forgive them, that, you know, everything's okay and that whatever, but yeah, there are some aspects and bad things that I didn't really expect for them to like come back and bite them, or how you call it. I said, I think this is my least favorite book, probably. Well, no. See, this is where it's complicated, because, okay, my least favorite book of the original series was Sea of Monsters. I'm not really sure why or how to explain it, it just kind of was. But I felt like it was better than the House of Hades, but yet it wasn't, and I don't know how I feel. This is hard because I really love this series and I really love the characters. I love the characters a lot, but I don't know how I feel. I'm so conflicted about this. I don't know, I didn't feel satisfied reading this book as I did like the first series. And that is my Mortal Kombat. Like, I'm tearing up here. Because, I hope it ends well. I don't want anybody to die. I hope it ends well-ish, and I hope it's epic, but I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. This was a very hard book to review. I don't want to hate it, but I can't really say that I was like, oh my gosh, I love this thing. So I guess I'll see you next week. Maddie, I look forward to your video. I hope it's better than mine. I hope you really enjoyed whatever book you finished reading. I actually know what book you finished reading, so I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but yeah. That's it. At least the book jackets are really pretty. Look at that. That is just so well drawn. It still is also the first series. I really like the book jackets for this series too. That's why it's so conflicting. I don't know how I feel.